Mrs. Jeon's dad was Mafia King. After his death, her brother, Taeyang's dad, took over his position. Taeyang's mom died while giving birth to him, and when he was 10 years old, his dad also died while fighting with cancer. After that, Mrs. Jeon took Taeyang with her. She took care of him like her own child. After her brother's death, and she took over his position and became Mafia Queen. When Taeyang came to her house, Jungkook started to see him as his competitor from whom he had to win at any cost. Both were in different schools. When they were in high school, Taeyang liked Agar. He proposed her and they started dating. One day he came with his girlfriend because he wanted Mrs. June to meet her. Some days later he came home crying and got into a fight with Jungkook because his girlfriend cheated on him with Jungkook. After that, Taeyang went back to his own house. Mrs. June used to go to meet him. Years later, when Jungkook and Hana didn't broke up and wanted to get married, but Mrs. June denied by saying that if Jungkook got married with Hana, he will lose everything that he will inherit from them in future, company, house, properties, everything. And about YN, Mrs. June met her in a business party. She is not an orphan, but her parents left her there. She grew up there, completed her studies, and joined a good company. Mrs. June wanted Jungkook to leave Hana. She became selfish in her mother's love. She thought if Hana can cheat on Taeyang, she can also betray Jungkook. One day, Jungkook told her he is ready to get married to YN. He and Hana broke up on good terms. She doubted and kept an eye on them, but found nothing, so she let it slide. Jungkook invited Hana and her new BF on his wedding, but after wedding when they didn't left, Mrs. June asked Jungkook. He said they are renovating their house so they will stay here. Mrs. June left to attend a meeting. During that time she got a call from her guards that Jungkook threw YN out of house. She got worried and told them to find her. Now from Taeyang's side. He came from abroad and was going to meet Mrs. June, but he saw a girl running away from some man. They shot her and left. He took her to hospital. Doctors told him about her pregnancy. Next day, Mrs. June returned from her trip and Taeyang went to meet her and told her that he admitted a girl in hospital and about her condition. She wanted to meet her, but when she saw YN, she realized that she ruined an innocent girl's life, and for protection, she sent her with Taeyang. And then she gave birth to twins, a boy and a girl, Ted and Sumin. When they were 2 years old, Taeyang proposed to Anne, but she denied, saying that he deserved someone better. But he didn't back out. At last, 1.5 years later, she agreed. They got married, and then Ryan gave birth to Taiwo. Now they came to meet Mrs. June because she is sick and doctors forbid her from traveling. When Mrs. June asked Jungkook why he threw Ryan out of house, he lied that she cheated on him with Hana's boyfriend. But Mrs. June knew the truth because Ryan told her, and also that man was not Hana's BF, but he was paid to pretend as one. He accepted everything when Mrs. June's guards tortured him. After that, Mrs. June somehow took Jungkook's sign on divorce papers, and she also disowned him. Now he handled Mr. June's company. Mr. June was also involved in all this. They live in the same house, but she don't talk to them. Now back to the present. I don't care who's your biological dad. Only know that I love you three equally. He hugged Ted and Sumin. They were talking when someone opened the door and barked inside. Jungkook, Hana, and Mr. June entered inside and froze on their spot, saying "Why and safe and sound" in front of them.